had to cover this disease. I have never seen a group of people, primarily women, be more gaslit about their disease and their level of pain than this group. How would you feel if you were in pain all of the time and just people and doctors told you, oh, that's not a real thing. There's no test for it, so how can it be a real thing? All your labs are normal, so what's your problem? Yet for the 13 million people suffering from fibromyalgia, they do not feel heard, they do not feel seen, and they feel like they're in this alone. I'm Dr. Erin Nance, a board-certified orthopedic surgeon, and I cannot believe it, but today is 31 of my 31 for 31 series on the most commonly misdiagnosed conditions that affect women. Fibromyalgia is thought to be a neurological condition, not an autoimmune or inflammatory condition similar to many of the other diseases I've covered. Basically, the pain signals are turned way up in your brain. Your nerves are reporting to your brain that there is pain when there's no reason for it to be. Some of the common symptoms are widespread musculoskeletal pain, fatigue, brain fog, insomnia, mood issues like feeling depressed or anxious. And there are multiple other conditions that it can coexist with, including chronic migraines, irritable bowel syndrome, painful bladder syndrome, and POTS. Now, for some medical professionals who don't believe in fibromyalgia, their concern is that there are other conditions that people are being misdiagnosed with fibromyalgia, but they really have other medical conditions. Now, this is also a really important list to know about. This is the list of diseases that fibromyalgia can mimic: rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, Lyme disease, lupus, multiple sclerosis, thyroid disease, and chronic fatigue syndrome. So what often happens is that doctors will be spending thousands and thousands of dollars on all of these labs and blood work and imaging studies that is going to help rule out these other diseases, because fibromyalgia doesn't have a blood test or an x-ray to use to diagnose the disease. So it can be a very long process of diagnosing fibro because it is considered a diagnosis of exclusion, meaning we've ruled everything else out. And this is a really important point that one of my followers emailed me when she found out that I was talking about fibromyalgia. She reminded me that even if you have a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, you may still be at risk for developing another autoimmune disease or other type of inflammatory disease as you get older. So if you develop new or different symptoms, don't just blame everything on your fibromyalgia. You should also be tested for these different conditions because you may have two things going on at once. But the most important part of this video is for those who are suffering from fibromyalgia to know that we see you, we hear you. And if you have fibromyalgia, please share your story. Please let everyone know what it's like to live with this disease that is so difficult to diagnose. You never know who's watching these videos. And as I close out this 31 for 31 series, I want to thank each and every one of you who has viewed my videos, shared it with someone that they love, made a comment, messaged me directly. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve this community, and I will be continuing this series of awareness and advocacy, maybe after I get a good nap in. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a privilege, and I hope you feel better.